Hey, howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 567, the Detroit Lions, Ides of Spring. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. I'm your missing host, Chris, and with me is my good friend, my best friend, Jeff, the Rizzler, Risdon. How you doing, brother?
Chris, it's good to see you. It's been so long. Man.
I know. I still got my island tan going, but it was like right from the island back to the salt mines, man. It was crazy. It's been crazy.
Slave to the grind.
Yeah, no, I genuinely love what I do for a living, and especially this thing I took on a year ago, this new thing, but it is taking a lot of my free time. I mean, it's taken almost just about all of it, really. So love to be able to get back in the seat with you, Riz, and talk Lions, man. The last time we did this, I was in Maui doing the draft show with Pigman Russ. God, he's so sexy. And I see you've been hard at work pumping out the videos. Those guys have been working. I love it. I've been watching your stuff on planes and everywhere else, but we got to talk, man. We got to talk. We haven't been able to get together. So let's talk about it. We got a lot going on today. We'll do our warm-ups as we like to do as people start to gather. We're going to talk about spring workouts. We're going to do some coaching pressers, talk about the schedule release, some likely injury return dates, and a whole lot more. We got a great show lined up. Mr. Rizzler, are you ready to go?
Let's do it! Yeah!
Let's kick this off and break it down.
The Rizzler. I like that.
I don't know what that. It sounds like the Sizzler, and I hated going the Sizzler. Like, give me a real steak, Dad. Come on.
It's not log.
God, lunch at the Sizzler.
There's a commercial. It's not the Clapper. It's something like the Clapper, though. But the Rizzler. I don't know. Somewhere it'll come to me at some point today. All right, let's get into it. Let's do our warm ups, my friend. Yeah. This time
we gotta say a special thing first.
Yeah.
Our good friend Brian, friend of the program, friend of ours personally, Brian Burkheiser is no longer with I Prevail. They mutually parted. It's sad. He's been dealing with some very serious medical issues that have been very troubling for him. He's got a newborn at home, got a fantastic wife, hi Carly, and they're like, it's
not it's high.
It's tough, man. My daughter, who's a huge I Prevail fan, actually cried last night when she got the news. So it's tough.
Brian, he's just such a one. This is the thing that sucks is when those things happen. It never seem to happen to the evil people. It's always the good people that get the short end of this.
It does seem like everything was on good terms, though.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue going out there, and Dylan's going to sing the clean parts, and Dylan's a good dude. I've met Dylan a couple times. Like, they're going at it, man. And I still love their music, but it's going to be different. And Brian is such a huge Detroit sports fan.
Yeah.
So, Brian, we love you. Our support is there for you, my friend.
Maybe we'll have more time to get together, though. Maybe there's an upside to this. You know what I mean? So let's figure that out. All right, love you, Brian. All right, let's get into this. Get into the show. Rags and Fitz. I just want to ask: Have you seen Rags at any practices yet this year, Riz? Any workouts?
So I have not, but we're also not allowed to watch practice. So
okay. Have you seen him in any of the videos?
Not that I recall, no.
Mm-hmm.
No. Doesn't mean he's not there, but I haven't seen him.
Have they been working anyone out at center? Has he been working at center at all?
Rattledge was there. Aguakun, I keep saying his name wrong, is still there. But yeah, they're cross-training. Glasgow's still there for now.
Okay.
I assume that's going to stick, too. I don't think they're getting rid of him this year. Don't think that's on the cards.
No.
Yeah.
No. Just asking. Just asking. Nobody's saying anything. Just asking. All right, let's get on to the next part. Fitz.
Curiosity.
Fitz. The Fitz. Fitz Magic out there doing a bit of an interview, and it was wild. Now, I'll tell you, Fitz talks about things that he knows about, and he talks about things that he speculates on, like we do, right? And I mean, that's what all the talk shows do. Some know more than others, and some speculate more than others, right? It's just the way
it would seem to be the format these days.
Yeah, many just are pure speculation. But Fitz, he knows some things, and he speculates some things. But he was talking a bit about, and it was interesting how he handled the conversation about Ben Johnson and how his explanation was a lot of head coordinators, offensive coordinators and coordinators are great coordinators, but have a real difficult time making that jump to coach. And
he would know.
Answer. Yeah.
He would know. He played on, I believe it was 16 different NFL teams over the course of his career. He saw a crap ton of coaching that was good, bad, indifferent, and evil. He's seen it all. Mm-hmm. He really has.
He absolutely has. And to not directly answer the question, like, because you can't say it. So if you're trying to be, political in a situation like that, like you kind of feel like he is. He doesn't want to make enemies or anything, right? But you're asked a direct question. You can't say no. He's not going to be a good head coach, right? You just can't do that because that's bad news. Yeah. You could say yes, but he seems like a guy that would have to be convicted about something to say yes, like have conviction, not be in jail, right? But have conviction about it. And the answer he chose to give was pretty wild, was not convincingly convicted.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and we've talked about that several in Lions Land. Like, we're not sure that he's going to be the best head coach because it is different. And we've seen examples of it. We saw Rod Marinelli was a fantastic defensive mind.
Yeah.
Couldn't head coach his way out of a paper bag. Jim Schwartz, still a fantastic defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. To Schwartz's credit, he's realized he doesn't like head coaching. Yeah. He wants to stay running defense. There are guys, Wade Phillips was a great example. Wade Phillips should be in the Hall of Fame as a defensive coordinator. Yeah. As a head coach, not so much.
Maybe not.
That happens a lot with, savants. Because I do think Ben Johnson has savant-like qualities as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, no,
that doesn't mean, like, it's a different job. I've used the analogy before. When I got out of college, my first job was I managed the front desk at a hotel. And I did really good at that. But if I had to run, like, the housekeeping department and the laundry and the maintenance and, all the sales, catering, like,
maintenance
I would have been way the hell out of my element, man.
Maintenance in particular would have been.
Yes, maintenance would be very, very bad. I got you, bro. Perhaps the least handy person you know. I'm about as handy as a wet bagel.
Some of the revelations Riz made at Senior Bowl about his history with maintenance and stuff. He revealed some open wounds from his youth. I won't go into them, but boy, I have a whole sense of kind of empathy for you, brother, after hearing that.
I love my grandpa dearly, but he didn't like me.
Poor Riz. Yeah. So,
man. Yeah. So, but like that's what it is. Like, you're taking on all these different responsibilities. And I wound up being promoted to where I would be in charge when the general manager was on vacation or off or whatever. And it was hard, man. Like, there's so many different things. Like, I'm comfortable here running the front desk. These are my people. I'm good with people. Allegedly. Probably not anymore. This was 30 years ago.
You've dealt with enough. That's a fading skill. The more that's one when you practice it, you get worse at it because you really dislike people after a while.
Yeah, I mean, I had a woman extinguish a cigarette on my hand because I gave her a non-smoking room. That was fun. Good times. But I held myself together because I'm like that. But like the scope of the job is so much grander.
Yeah.
Even like whatever you're doing, when you get promoted up, there's a lot more things that you don't know. Yeah. And those things are like, holy crap. Like, I had no idea we paid our laundry people that much. I had no idea that our cook snorted coke all the time. Like, I didn't know these things. Like, who knew? What have I gotten myself into?
Man, he could be the president of France.
He was Jamaican. What's up, Gladstone? Good dude. Love that guy.
Oh man, yeah, no, it's just interesting how he answered that. I think he said something about Nate Hackett as a comparator.
Yes, he did. That's not who you want to be compared to.
No. Now, what does this mean? Why are we talking about it? It's not a Lions guy. He has ties to the Lions, of course, but this is a division rival and a guy who, frankly, when he's in Detroit, we want him to be the best ever and we want him to succeed. Now that he's gone, no matter how he left, I'm not worried about how he left. Right? He didn't cost us anything. I I don't believe any of that is true. You see all kinds of people depart, 2 days after the Super Bowl, right? I mean, for teams, right. Whatever. I don't think that cost us anything. I just think that he's on the enemy team, and I hope he fails miserably and embarrassingly, and comes crawling back and it gets a great job and does an awesome job with the Lions again, or does bad somewhere else. That's kind of where my head's at.
I've got a great example for the Bears fans who like to hate watch this show.
Yeah.
Mark Trestman. Remember him?
Yeah.
I freaking loved Mark Trestman. Mark Trestman is still one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I have actually, I've sat and had a conversation with Mark Trestman. Huh? Brilliant.
I mean, and you've met me. So, I mean, that's high praise. That's high praise for Trestman. Indeed.
Yes, I've watched your cat kill lizards on your porch. Pre-show talk. We were having fun with. But Mark Trestman is like he offensive savant from his time in the CFL and various places. He became the head coach of the Bears, and like 6 weeks in, the Bears were like, "Oh shit, like this is not good." I don't think that's going to happen with Ben Johnson, but the precedent is there. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's do the spring workout talk. And I want to talk to you about this, Riz. I just want to kind of maybe do a little Q&A with you. I know you did a report on it, but you've seen a lot, you've heard a lot, you've been down there a couple times. Just love to hear kind of, maybe let's just start with an overview. This spring, how does it differ from what we've seen before?
Okay, so we have not been able to watch the veterans yet, other than the guys that were on the trash. We only got rookie mini camp. They have actually canceled mandatory mini camp because they're in the Hall of Fame game. So they got to start training camp earlier. They haven't announced that date yet, though it's coming very soon. I may or may not know when that is, because I got to schedule my life around that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so we watched the rookies and we watched the coaches. And then there's a lot of new coaches running around. Kelvin Shepard's in charge of the defense now. Sean Dion Hamilton's in charge of the linebackers now. Like, Deshae Townsend stepped up some. Like, it's fun to watch these guys. It's fun to watch them grow. And, watching Hank Fraley bark out orders at his rookies was kind of neat.
I'm sure Kelvin has been really quiet and mellow.
Oh, my God. That man does not need a microphone. No.
He was so great.
Bundle of energy, and he's still hands-on. Mm-hmm. There was a tryout linebacker there who was not doing what he wanted him to, and Kelvin literally showed him how to do it. Like, he did it himself. Like, learn, dumbass, or gone. Well, he's gone now.
I just love that our coaches do that. I love that Campbell does
I really do.
I really, yeah. Oh, God, it's so good.
Fraley's not above getting his hands in there. Mm-hmm. You see Deshae Townsend will teach guys how to stay lower in their back pedal and come out of it. Like, he can still do that, which is damn impressive. Like, now AG did that too as well. Not as much, but so it's pretty indicative of the type of player or type of coach that the Lions get. And why they're big on hiring ex-players, because it does lend some credibility when you can say, hey, this is how I did it when I played in the league for 8 years like Kelvin Shepard did.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it. I have to take turmeric every day or my knees are aching like hell. I mean, these guys, what they can do,
it's nuts.
Yeah.
So we have not seen the veterans in practices yet. That is coming soon.
Okay.
I actually can't say when. I do know when. I will be there soon, but I can't say when. Yes. So, but like the just seeing Dan back twirling the whistle, watching
and something,
watching Bruce Gradkowski handle the quarterbacks. The quarterback that was there was Cole Snyder from Eastern Michigan. He's not going to get signed.
Can I say there's one thing that I have to, and I'm not advocating for this at all. But if I had to wake up one day and see Dan Campbell coaching another team, right? Like, okay, we ran our course, we got our Super Bowls, did our thing, whatever, right? I don't think I don't care if he was the Packers coach, I don't think I could hate him. You know what I mean?
It'd be hard.
I really like, he's just a dude, man. You know what I mean? He's just a dude. You see coaches. I mean, I'm going to go to the everyone's favorite flashback, Matt Patricia, smartest man in the room syndrome, right? A little bit of Napoleon going on, probably hit his 5'3" stature, but it was one of those things. He was really nice when we talked to him in personal. He was personable. But man, he gets in front of the camera and it's like, what? And from the sounds of it, in front of the players too, right? It was I'm the smartest man in the room. You respect my authority and all that other shit. And it was just like, man, what in the hell? Dan
Dan's not like that at all.
He's
very
the best
genuine.
Way is it seems like you could have a beer with him at any time, even if he's yelling at you because you messed up. You know what I mean? He just yell at you over a beer. He's just incredible. Just incredible to be able to kind of carry yourself the way he does. He's so good at that, man. I would have a hard time if he left. All right, I'm sorry. Back to spring workouts.
He's not leaving anytime soon.
No.
Not until we got some Super Bowls.
I'm not intimating anything when I talk about Mr.
We can win the Super Bowl this year.
I'm just complimenting him is what I'm trying to give him the ultimate compliment.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Versus like what we talked about earlier with
I don't think you're going to see this is about the time of year where the coaching hot seat candidates come out. I don't think you're going to see Dan Campbell's name on those.
No.
That's pretty safe to say.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur, maybe.
There's
more than maybe, especially if they get trounced in week 1, like I think they will.
Yeah. This time next year, we'll Ben Johnson's in that list. That'll be fun. I'll love to hear something like that. That would be great. That would be fantastic.
We'll talk more about the division foes in a future episode. But I like on paper. I like what the Bears have done this offseason quite a bit. I really do. Yeah. That doesn't mean that they're going to challenge the Lions, but they should be challenging for second place in the division. I can absolutely see that.
They've built a scary looking team before, but they've never executed. And they're good at building
Trustman was involved with that.
They're good at building scary looking teams, but they just haven't had the bite. You know what I mean? So okay, spring workouts. What else have we seen? Everyone talks about a wide receiver. Can you talk about Mr. Isaac for us?
TeSlaa.
Yes.
Isaac TeSlaa. I mean, he's local for me, so I've known him since he was in high school.
I've heard he's electric.
Christian. Very good.
Sorry.
He's just so easy to like. Hardworking kid, great family, strong work ethic. His dad played wide receiver at Hillsdale, so he grew up around football, knows it very well. He led Unity Christian to a state title in Ford Field playing quarterback. They run it's a wing. I don't know if it's a single wing or I don't even know what you call it. It's basically like the hide the sausage type of offense where nobody knows where the ball's going. I think he threw 10 passes.
I don't think that's what hide the sausage means, but okay.
Well, probably not. Hide the pigskin. Like sausage. I'm hungry.
There's so many quotes coming out of this. There's so many drops coming
he also was on their basketball team, which also happened to have won a state title at Unity Christian, and they're still freaking good. Love you, Coach Sodsma. Great coach. My son plays in their played in their athleticons, went up against them. And nothing but respect for them. They run a great program. He was the player that everybody on the other team's fan base loved to hate because he was so energetic and he was so good on defense and quick and smart. And he wore that very well, by the way. He's comfortable with that. He's comfortable wearing the black hat like that.
Nice.
So he's big. He's athletic as fuck, man. He's fun. He's got some work to do. He's got to learn how to get open as an outside receiver. Arkansas played him in the slot. I said it in the pre-draft. Arkansas had no clue what they had with him. It didn't help that their quarterback was a dog's ass. It didn't help that their offensive coaching staff had no clue what they're doing, period, right. Aside from TeSlaa. But they paid the most to get him, so that's how you get him. It's the downside of NIL. Sometimes you don't always get what you pay for.
Yeah. There's a lot of downsides to NIL. Okay, we'll keep going.
Yes, there are. There's another show, too. That might be a solo show for me later this summer, but I digress. TeSlaa is going to be a lot of fun. He is going to push Tim Patrick for that number 3 wide receiver job. From my understanding, Tim Patrick is not fazed by that, which is nice. Like, he knows the deal. He's on a 1-year contract. He's back. He knows his injury history. He knows he's 32 years old. Like, he gets it. And TeSlaa, he's going to be fans are going to love this guy. His celebrations. He actually did the standing on his head in the end zone before St. Brown did. Like, he's known. Like, he was known for his touchdown celebrations, like going way back. Like, that's sort of what he does.
Right.
But he great guy, has a tremendous amount of support. He wore his freaking Lions jersey from when he was a kid to his private visit in Detroit. What does that tell you?
That's pretty
like that's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
But it paid off. And Ray Agnew actually talked about that. Like, this guy shows up and he's wearing and Ray Agnew was like, "What do I think about that?" He's like, I actually think it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not quoting Ray there, but like Agnew's press conference was very complimentary towards him about that.
But if he was,
there's a kid who's not afraid to put it out there.
But if it's from when he's a kid, I'm going to have to tell him, hey, you got to put a little more muscle on, buddy.
Well, yeah. Oh, he does not lack muscle. And I will tell you this from seeing him, he played some beach volleyball last summer with his sister, who is the setter at Hillsdale College. He's very good. He could play low-level college volleyball if he wanted to. He's got that kind of talent. He explodes out of the freaking sand. My daughter and her partner, hi, Avery Baker, they actually beat them in the finals of a tournament in Muskegon last summer. I will tell you that TeSlaa does not like losing. He threw his hat a lot, which I like. As somebody who threw my hat all the time when I played, and like if I hit the ball out, my wife, especially when we played co-ed, she knew the hat was coming off and being thrown. Like, just take cover. And TeSlaa was like that. So that's a little bit of a glimpse into his competitive personality there.
That's awesome.
He's a good dude. Very, very easy to like. Lions fans are going to love this guy. They really are.
Let me walk up from number 3 to pick number 2, Tate Rattledge. What have you seen from him in the
He's
besides that beautiful mane, because God, he's my spirit animal, man. Yeah, he's my spirit animal. I'm telling you, I've seen pictures of you back in the day with the flow. Yeah,
I do.
I have it right now. If I didn't have this job that doesn't let me do that,
you're bored.
My retirement, I'm gonna look like the dirtbaggest dirtbag that ever dirtbagged. I swear to God, I have so much hair.
Man.
Chops, the whole thing, man. I'm going all in.
Oh boy. Rattledge, one of the things is he worked at center a lot in the rookie minicamp. He didn't look out of place at it. He talked about how he had practiced at center at Georgia. That he had taken snaps there in practices and never actually played there. He likes the fact that it allows him to show his footwork off. And one of the things that you notice about him right away, if you watch this film at Georgia, he's really light on his feet for a heavy and kind of a heavy set dude. Like he would naturally be a big guy if he didn't play football.
Yeah,
like he'd look like like a bouncer at a country western concert or something like that. Like that would be his alternate life, like that kind of stocky, country strong type dude.
Yeah, sorry, I just a bouncer at a country.
But he's light on his feet and he's aggressive. He's another one. He actually missed. He had a poor rep. And immediately, slap the hands really loud. Like, I like that. Yeah. I like guys who hate when they're wrong and hate when they lose.
Yeah.
You better believe that Dan Campbell does that too. That actually stood out to me as something. And I probably should have put that in my video that I did. But like that tells me a lot about the player. Like, he's not going to accept the fact that he wasn't good enough. He's going to try to get better at doing it. And look, if he's the replacement for Graham Glasgow in a year, if he's starting this year, which could happen. Like, there's a lot of potential things that could go on with that. Sorry, my car's being driven down my driveway right now.
Hopefully it's by a family member.
Sorry, I'm good.
Squirrel.
It's weird. It's just glad my Bluetooth didn't go off. But anyways, it's cool to see, a guy who can come in and like can play right away, but doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Like if he's better than Grant Glasgow, I don't have any reservations at all if the Lions will play him there, and move Glasgow to being the backup center and backup guard. Now the other thing is that Miles Frazier is there too. We'll talk about Miles in a second.
Yeah.
But they got guys who fit. And one of the, I do a lot of podcasts this time of year. I did one with my friend Jeff Warren, who does Philadelphia sports, and we talked. And one of the things that I talked about there, and please watch it. It's the Philly Sports Table. It's great. It's a great show. Jeff's a great dude. We go way back. But he was like, it seems like the Lions have like a lion type, and they found those guys. I'm like, absolutely, they did.
Yeah.
And for me, it's first off, it's cool to see that other teams are recognizing like, oh, that guy's a lion. That guy's not a lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you could. I like there's some squishiness in the middle, but you can easily see the cases on one side or the other. You know what I mean? It's very definite and very, very much. They identify themselves that way. Speaking of which,
for sure,
that series, I ran out of time to try to do it. Ash tried to use some AI to do an episode, and it didn't come out. Right. It was an experiment. And,
AI doesn't work. So
no, that one didn't. So that one's going to go away. But I'm going to do a summer series on it, on drafts, and I got cool. It's a really, really good series that I've got all scripted. I just had to have time to do it, but have a good setup. You're probably going to see a lot more solo videos from me, but we'll still do the podcast. We'll do this still weekly. It won't be at the expense of this.
You'll get some solo stuff from me too, because I will be. I was actually telling one of my Lionswire people today my June schedule from June 6th to June 28th. I will be home for about 18 hours. It's volleyball camp time, baby. Yeah. It's nuts. We are driving and flying, and it's insane.
Rhyming and stealing.
What we do for our kids.
Driving and flying and rhyming and stealing. Let's talk about that defensive tackle out of Ohio State. Mr. Williams, we'll call him, because he deserves it. How's he looking out there?
Oh my God. I know there are fans who are predisposed to hate him, A, because he's a defensive tackle, B, because he's from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Y'all got to drop that, man. Like, you got to get over that. Because this guy, oh man.
Right?
He's fun. He is brute power. There's a lot of talk, and I see it as well, that he's physically similar to Aleem McNeil, and they play sort of the same style. I watched him at Ohio State in several games. I've seen him play in person. I watched him at the rookie. Like, I'm watching Ndamukong Suh. Like, that's how his mindset is. Like, I'm going to freaking beat the hell out of you, dude. Like, that's it. And the best thing I can say is that Miles Frazier, the rookie, who's a really good, like, strong, firing out run blocker, Tyleek moved him backwards on a run block. And that's nothing against Frazier. Like, think about that for a second. Suh used to do that.
Yeah.
Remember playing against the Bears? He did it famously to their really good center, and I can't think of his name, but the dude was like an all-pro center, like a really good Allen Cruz. Thank you. Yeah. It came to me. Allen Cruz is trying to fire out and move Suh, and Suh pushes him backwards into the running back. Like, Tyleek can do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't think this guy is just a nose tackle. He is so much more than that. I understand he's from a school that most of you hate. He's not the pick that you wanted. He's not an edge. You're going to have to get over that. You're just going to have to. I'm sorry. You know what you're going to have to get used to is the middle being absolutely disrupted and full of pressure and a real pain point for other teams. And then what are they going to do? They're going to roll in. Now you're forcing them to roll into your edges, right? Which is instead of your edges playing chase all the time and catch up, now the edges have a little bit of a different role because there's nothing in the middle for them to deal with. So I think it gives a whole nother little flair and a little bit of help to the edges in a different way than people were expecting. And people aren't talking about that. And it's too bad. And one of the other things is, where are teams spending their money on the offensive line? Outside. Why? Because we've got Aiden Hutchinson. Like, because the Packers have Rashawn Gary, who's a good player. Like the Daniel Hunter is meant, like, the premium edges have dictated that tackles become where you spend your attention.
Yep.
Well, guess what? If we're rushing up the middle, we're going against like 6th-round center.
Yep.
I'm not going to diss any of the, because I do think actually Minnesota has a pretty darn good offensive line, but we're attacking them in a way that most teams can't now.
Yep.
And, oh, by the way, Aiden Hutchinson is still there.
Yep.
Like that's, and the other thing, one of the big bugaboos that I have, and I'm sure many fans who are watching share it, is the ability to contain mobile quarterbacks who can run. Caleb Williams, Jordan Love. We're going to see a crap ton of them this year.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels. Russell Wilson is on the schedule. When you get pressure up the middle, it forces them to choose a side.
You can't, you cut off the field. You cut off half the field.
You cut the field in half, which means that the linebackers who are there and the safety who's creeping up, whoever that might be, it's that much easier for them to get in pursuit and bring him down and at least corral him. And I think that that's something that I think that's going over the heads of a lot of folks right now, honestly, because like it just be ready for a different, like one of the so this comes up, and this came up in the comments of one of the videos that I did earlier in the draft process, was like we want something different. Like we don't want to run back Aaron Glenn's defense. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But we're doing something different, and now people are scared of it.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, change is hard, change is new. But this is kind of what we wanted. Let's at least give it a chance to work before we throw it out. Because it's weird the amount of negativity that's being directed at the Lions defense right now, and it's frustrating. I will tell you, it frustrates the coaches and a couple of the players that I've talked to off the record.
That's the thing that's kind of the most bothersome, because the hand wringing has been every year. And then by about game 3, game 4, people are like, boy, you just trust Brad. He knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to. Why don't you start by trusting him? He's got the road under his wheels. He's got the history now that you can trust what he's building and what he's doing. Trust your coaches. These guys, yes, some of them are in elevated positions, but they've been here. They know what they're doing. It's fine. We're a team whose window is open and will be for a long time. The way that Brad is building this team and the way he's getting the guys that he is, the contracts he's signing and not signing. I don't foresee this window closing in the near future. And the one thing, and I always refer to the Giants, the 9-7 Giants eking their way into the playoffs to go on and win the Super Bowl against the Patriots. It's all about just getting in. Yeah, you want to be the number 1 team to get the first round bye. That's all good stuff. But once you get in, anything can happen. We never used to get in. Now, I don't see a season that we don't get in our future unless there's something absolutely crazy that happens. But
that happened last year when we went 15-2.
Yeah, exactly. Just go with it. Enjoy it. I say that to people all the time.
Trust
I've been saying it for years. Trust the process. And you know what? Your team's good. Enjoy the team. Don't find a reason to be unhappy. Find a reason to be happy. Because
celebrate being a fan of a team that other teams fear.
Yeah.
They do fear us, by the way.
Yep.
Go through and read some of the predictions. Like one of the things that we had to do on the wire sites is we all had to go through our schedule and pick wins and losses right away. Go through and read what people said about the Lions when they're on their schedule. They put an L next to it for their own team. The Lions are really freaking good. Like, that's the basic summary of it. I think, and I didn't do it, my guy Billy did. I think the Lions, from the other team's predictions, wound up being 15-2 again from what the other team's beat writers said about them. Yep. That tells you the kind of respect that they have around the league. I know for a fact that our Packers guy picked the Lions, beat them twice. I know for a fact that the Vikings guy picked them. No, in full disclosure, the Vikings guy is Andrew Harbaugh, who started at Lions Wire and got moved to Minnesota. Because he agrees with me that Brian Flores has no freaking clue what he's doing and trying to defend Jared Goff. Keep blitzing Jared, dude. Good strategy. Keep doing that. Dumbass.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll talk more about the draft.
We're good.
We'll talk more about the drafted players because we have a couple shows, a couple things. I want to finish up on the spring workouts piece. Yeah. What's the one takeaway you have that concerns you from what you've seen so far?
I am still somewhat concerned about the depth at safety. Now, I did like what I saw from Ian Kennelly, the undrafted rookie free agent from Grand Valley State, which is 15 miles straight that way. Very athletic. And I said this in the video, and I will say it again. If you told me that Ian Kennelly was the dude who got drafted and Dan Jackson was the undrafted rookie, like, I would believe you. And I actually said that in the media throng, and everybody else was like, yeah, you know what? You're kind of right, because Kennelly's bigger, stronger, faster, and better at moving in coverage. Now, Dan Jackson, that's not where he wins. He's a guy that he's a box safety. He is your Iffy replacement. Mm-hmm. He's quite a bit smaller than Iffy, but that's who he is on this roster. But you know, I worry about the lack of experience there. I know Avonte Maddox is coming in. It feels like he's going to be the number 3 safety to start the year. On the Philly show that I was on with Jeff Warren, he laughed at me when I said that. It's like, good luck with that, buddy. But you know, it could happen. I've always been an Avonte Maddox fan. I liked him back in the draft when he was coming up a bit. So that concerns me. I still wonder. They're trying things with their linebackers. And again, maybe it's just experimental. Maybe it's because Kelvin Shepard is a linebacker and was a longtime NFL linebacker. Mm-hmm. But the way that they were lining up is a little bit different than what we've seen from them. And unfortunately, I can't say exactly what it was, but they're doing different things there. And I'm not sure that specifically Anzalone and Campbell are going to, I don't think that necessarily plays to their best qualities. And maybe it's just because they're trying it with these young guys to see what they can do. I don't know, but that's something that bears watching. But like depth in the middle of the field defense is still probably my biggest concern for the team, and that's with Rodrigo coming back, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, and with some depth. By the way, I haven't seen him in a Lions uniform yet. They freaking love Grant Stewart in that building. People are like, who's Grant Stewart? Well, he's the linebacker that they signed from the Colts, who's ostensibly there for special teams purposes as your Jalen Reeves-Maybin replacement. I think they think he can be more than that. I don't know if he can be or not, but I think they think he can. That's something to keep watching.
Very interesting. All right. Let's move on from our workouts, our spring workouts. Let's get to the next topic and cover.
By the way, one other thing with it real quick. We got to talk to all the guys. This was last week, sometime, whenever rookie minicamp was. All the guys that they drafted can talk. Like, it's clear they went to class in college. They can construct full sentences. They present themselves well. They have energy. They look people in the eye when you're asking them a question. As you know, Chris, I don't particularly prefer to ask questions, but I did in a few cases just because there were questions that nobody else was going to ask that I needed to. Talking to Miles Frazier, I'm like, I love this guy. Like, I really, really like this is a guy, he looks like he's going to rip my arms off and beat me over the head with them, but he has such a gentle demeanor, like thoughtful, pensive, legitimate responses. You don't get that all the time. I love that. Like, I just feel better about the Lions taking guys like that rather than taking, a lunkhead who's going to be like, where's my training buffet? And I cover Brian Cushing, so I can tell you about those things.
I think the thing,
dude used to stop practice so he could pull a sack of almonds out of his jockstrap so he could eat almonds at the proper time because his body was in that tune. Lunatic.
I think we're going to have to work with you on the questions thing because it all started. You were there, you asked the question to Holmes, and he gave you that patented answer.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
And you just haven't been the same since. And so we'll work on that. We'll build you back, Riz. We can't let Holmes beat you down like that. So,
Holmes. I will say John Dorsey I had a fun little interaction with him. It was positive. It's good.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into the next one. Detroit Lions coaching pressers. My favorite part, and I'm going to let you run on these because, again, my time's been limited, but my favorite one was the one I saw with Kelvin talking about Hutch, how he knew Hutch was back.
Yeah.
It's
He's a supernatural cat.
We fell in love with Kelvin. I mean, absolutely fell in love with him at Senior Bowl when we got to interview and talk to him before, after, during the interview. He was such a fucking awesome person. Loved him to death.
And we saw him the next day. He came up and talked to us off the record, like he remembered our names, like he was sincere dude, like very, very easy guy to love.
Yeah. 100%,
so we are predisposed to liking him.
Yeah, and you could tell not only the passion and the fire, but you could tell he was a smart guy that was going places. I didn't think the Lions were going to be able to hang on to him, and the fact that he's kind of elevated to where he is.
They had to, because Aaron Glenn wanted him as his defensive coordinator.
Yep. The way he was able to elevate and get elevated here and stay with us, it just makes me so happy. And to hear him doing these pressers, and then to hear him talking about Hutch and Hutch being back, I mean, it's weird because it's easy to forget how much Hutch brings after being gone for so long last year, man. How much he brings to this defense.
Week 6, man. He's been out since week 6.
It took a month and a half for someone to catch up to his sack total of him not playing. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. If he can come back like that again, like pick up where he left off last year, and I have a feeling just because he's had to do all the rehab that he's had to do, he's going to be further ahead starting this year than he was last year because he's just been working so hard. They could film him for the new start of the reboot of the $6 Million Man commercial, just on the treadmill. Like, he is just powering, man. I'm excited to see what he can bring coming back. So that was my favorite part, just listen to Calvin talk about Hutch and him coming back and how well he looks and how he knew he was back. All is well, Lions land, man.
The coaches talked about how he was doing the hoop drill, which is where you're running around a giant hula hoop and you're picking up a towel in one and putting it down in the other. And he talked about how Hutch was scraping the ground with his hand when he did. Like, that's elite flexibility.
Yeah,
that's. Well, do you remember when we were at the Senior Bowl and I went down and watched the defensive lineman and I came back and I'm like, please God, no Landon Jackson.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
This guy, like, it took him.
Hold on. It started with, I'm out. It's like, what? It's like, what the hell happened?
Oh my God. He's as inflexible. I don't even know where he got drafted.
You were as out as Kramer on the Bet episode. I'm out.
Yes. Bullet dodged, because I have learned. It's not a surprise. The Lions did indeed like Landon Jackson. Not enough to draft him, but he would have been in their candidate pool had they not traded up. I was reliably told. Doesn't mean that they were going to take him. Doesn't mean that he was the top of that list, but they held a favorable opinion of him. That's one of the things that I picked up when I was over there. Was I got some validation on some draft takes that I had, and I got some refutation on some others. I was kind of surprised about one of them where I was told I was dead wrong. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So I'm going to follow that player now. I'll let you know who it is, Chris, off the air, but I will see if they were right or if I was right.
You already owe me 2 texts. Don't forget.
I do. I really do.
I need that first one in particular because we got other schedules to do.
Yeah. We'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Oh, man. So I enjoy Dave Phipp, as you do as well, Chris.
Yeah.
And the joy with which he talked about how touchbacks are now coming out to the 35 and how that's going to make his units that much more integral to the part of the game, because returns should, in theory, go up, because if you kick it into the end zone at the 35, like that's not going to happen. That's extra yards. it's just fun to listen to a guy who loves his job so much, like Dave Phipp does, and is so passionate about special teams.
Yeah.
It's wild. It really is.
Yeah. He's not a guy that came into special teams to be a coach or something else. He genuinely loves what he does. And he is his, you know how like in hockey, goaltenders are just built a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Special teams is kind of that way. And Phipp is that. I mean, again, talking to him, hanging out at Senior Bowl, he's like, tell me how the board works. He's hitting the buttons and like
he wanted to know how everything worked. It was great.
We spent more time shooting the shit with him than we did like interviewing him, right? It just talking and hanging out. He was such a cool guy. Loads of fun. Loves what he does, right? Loves what he does.
He does.
You compare that with a guy, and I love this guy because just the whole how he departed, the people showing their ass. But Braden Coombs, unemployable still.
Still
unemployable.
Don't go rogue on your head coach, kids. Not a good idea.
Yeah. Oh man! All right.
Is he back at Ohio State? Because Matt Patricia's at Ohio State now.
Yeah, they took
There's more reason for people to hate Ohio Sate.
They took
That's going to go well.
Coombs. Sorry, son.
Oh, God. I have so much fun with the Ohio State folks. I do regular weekly spots during the season with Bobby Carpenter on 97.1, which is the sports station in Columbus. It happens to be, and I've gotten to know Bobby a little bit over the years. I love the guy. He's very good at what he does, but they're trying so hard to not diss Matt Patricia, and I know it's tough for people. I know it is. He knows. Yeah. He's still very in tune with his Lions side. I know it didn't go very well for him here. He, to this day, and I've told him this, remains one of the worst draft misses I've ever had. I thought he was going to be an all-pro. I really did. I was so high on him, his football IQ, his ability to range from sideline to sideline, and it just didn't happen for him. And I believe he was in the top 15 of my players in that whatever draft. I think it was 2008, 2007, maybe. Like I whiffed. It happens. Love the guy though.
We'll call it.
He's very good.
We'll call it a development problem. We'll blame the coaches. How about that?
Well, he was in Dallas first, so
yeah, blame the coaches. Yeah. All right, let's talk. What else can we pull out of these coaching pressers, Riz? I mean, did we make a lot of mistakes hiring these coaches this year? Are we really looking for a down year because these guys are just turds?
So I have to say I was not there on Thursdays for those. I spent most of Thursday dwelling in the bathroom trying not to die. It was not a fun day.
I will not press for more information.
Thank you. It's not the way you want to lose weight. Let's put it that way. Oh,
I said rough. I would not press for more information.
All right.
About this.
So I have only watched those from afar. I will say, I think the energy and how fired up they are to work for Dan, like it comes through. It comes through across the camera, like even if I'm not in the room. Like I'm sure most of our faithful listeners here have watched these. If you haven't, please do. It's on the Lions website. Check it out. They do a very good job with it. My understanding is that it's actually a little bit easier to hear the questions this year too. I don't know.
Say it isn't so.
with one notable exception.
2025.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll just say I think there's a sense of, and I got this from talking to a couple of the coaches, off the record outside the interview room, unfinished business. They feel like last year they didn't get the job done, and that bothers them. It sort of haunts them. But in a way where it's like, okay, we've got to make sure that we get it done this year. Like, we're going to be that much more focused. Like, every T will be crossed. Every I will be dotted. We've looked back. We've seen where we could have done a little bit better, where we could have, managed things differently that might work. And that is very encouraging to me. The fact that they're not resting on a year where they went 15-2, got the number 1 seed, And had they been healthy, I'm convinced they could have at least won to the Super Bowl, if not winning it outright. That's not good enough for them, and I like that. I have seen other teams that got a little chesty when they had unprecedented success before. That's not this Lions team. That's not Dan Campbell. That's not Kelvin Shepard. That's certainly not Mark Brunell or Tyler Rell, the new tight ends coach, who's a fun. You're going to like him when you meet him. He's a good dude.
Nice. I love it.
He is. So Steve Hayden is a very good tight ends coach who was here last year. I like Steve a lot. I think he was a very good tight ends coach. You're getting a different, more intense animal in Tyler Rell. He's didn't get to see a lot of him in the rookie minicamp thing. Part of it was the fact that the rookie tight ends were like bad, and they actually cut Caden Prieskorn and signed a deal from Auburn to replace him, which should have happened, by the way, because Prieskorn looked sorry, dude, wasn't there. But like none of the tight ends were really like standing out too much, so he didn't get a chance to be as engaged. I happen to share a very good mutual friend with him that I didn't learn about until I was down in Indy. Like, okay, I know a little bit more about him, and I'm liking it now. And
nice.
Yeah, he's got some fire to him. He's going to be a guy. I will say this: if Sam Laporta goes 3 quarters without getting a pass, Dan Campbell's and John Morton, the offensive coordinator, are going to hear about it from Roll. And I don't think that Steve Hayden would have done that.
There you go. All right. Give me one more takeaway from the pressers, Riz. One more, and then move on.
So David Shaw, as you know, Chris, I was critical of him as the Stanford head coach. I didn't think he was a very good head coach at Stanford. Well, offensive-minded is a different story. He's going back to the level from where Bob Johnson may or may not fail. Right. He's realized that coaching, he's our passing game coordinator specifically. He and John Morton are tight. They go way the hell back. They're best friends. They each called each other best friends unprompted. He's going to do things with Jared Goff that Ben Johnson maybe didn't see. And I kind of like that because where did Ben Johnson come from? Like, he came from North Carolina where they had mobile quarterbacks. He came from different places where they had different styles. David Shaw had basically statues at Stanford. So he understands how to play to I don't want to call Goff unathletic because that's not fair to him, but he is not a runner. I think we can all agree that that's fair. I think he sees things conceptually that Ben might not see. And that's not a criticism of Ben. It's fresh eyes. And if Goff is open to it, and we have not seen Jared Goff yet this summer or spring. It's not summer yet. I wish. But we know Goff well enough to know that he's going to embrace to be whatever is going to make him the best Jared Goff he can be. He's going to do it. Right. He's going to embrace it. 100%. And I think that David Shaw is going to bring a little of that to this. And I'm curious as to see how that's going to work because at Stanford, he had some really weird quarterbacking situations and wound up winning a lot with them. Like, okay. He was Jim Harbaugh's right-hand man for a long time. So he understands, look, Harbaugh might be crazy. He might be, he's different, to be polite. I think he's a different cat. I think Shaw understands how to deal with that intense person. Like Dan Campbell burns hot, as does Jim Harbaugh. Like, they're going to obsess about the minutia of failure. That's something that Jim Harbaugh and Dan Campbell have in common. It's going to burn at them. I think David Shaw understands how to react off that because he spent so much time with Harbaugh. I don't think that's getting enough appreciation for his personality and how he's going to help sort of balance between John Morton, who he knows very well, and Dan Campbell and Mark Brunell, who's a fairly laid back, he's not California cool because he's not from California, he's from Washington, but like that's kind of his personality. He's not a yeller, he's not a thrower, he's not a clipboard breaker. And I think that Shaw sort of can coordinate and has the personality where he wants to be that guy. I like that. And I think that came across in his interview pretty well.
Maybe not California cool, but California sober. That's how you get that kind of chill vibe.
Could be. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I haven't been in California in a long time.
All right, let's move.
Long time ago. Long time ago. Woo.
All right, let's move
Memories.
on.
Memories.
Let's get to the Detroit Lions schedule release. And
the water in Santa Barbara is cold. I remember that.
It's cold up and down the West Coast. It's a lie.
Freaking cold.
Everything about California is a lie. It's plastic and fake, and the water is cold as hell. I swear to God, Baywatch had to be filmed in Hawaii because you can't stand it. It's like 58 degrees in the Pacific.
It was. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
You don't surf without a wetsuit. It's silliness.
No,
they fool people.
Dude, oh God.
Okay, let's go through. We're going to walk through the schedule. We're going to do two things to the schedule, Riz. We'll go through game by game, and then as we go through the games, I want to do a prediction, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, we'll talk win-loss.
Let me pull my predictions because I actually did this for lunch.
No. Yeah, we're going to get you to get something. You're going to trip up and get something different, so people give you something to yell about, something to tweet about in June. All right, sure. So the Lions open the season. If you haven't heard, they open the season in Green Bay, which is really interesting. It's a fun way to start the season. I'm going to tell you, Riz, I don't like a division game in the first two games of the season because the first games of the seasons are always such wild cards, especially with the short preseason the way it is. And to make them division games is this is what's ruining video games right now, where skill doesn't matter as much. They throw chaos and randomness in there to take away what skill is, to make thumbless kids feel better. It just takes away the sense of accomplishment and the fun from doing that kind of thing. I look at this and that's kind of what's happening here. I don't know. I mean, I'll be happy to walk away with a win. And I feel like if it was whatever, if it was week 5, I could make a prediction confidently as to how the teams are. But week 1, division games are so important. And then you just throw chaos into it. And that throws all of a sudden week 18 and 19 are chaos, absolute chaos, because of the bullshit that happened in the beginning. You know what I mean? And our first 2 games are division games. I don't like this. And I haven't heard many people talk about this, but I don't like that the NFL did this.
I don't either. Opening on the road in Green Bay, national game, 4:25 kickoff. Everybody's going to be watching that one. By the way, the Packers are favored right now. If you go to, I believe it's DraftKings, they're like 2.5-point favorites. I don't see that, but okay.
Smells like DraftKings is going to lose some money in the Lions again.
They very well might. I don't like the idea of opening on the division, especially with 2 games in the division.
Yeah.
I can see week 2 being, okay, you get one of them out of the way. It sort of sets the tone a little bit for the division race for the season.
Look how college does it. College does it so much smarter.
Yeah.
You get those, I just call them practice games early, right?
Yeah.
The ones that, we should play our our AFC division the first 4 games of the year.
I would have loved to open with Pittsburgh or Cincinnati.
Yeah.
San Francisco would have been great.
If our first 4 games are the Browns, the Ravens, the Bengals, and Pittsburgh, right? And every team played their opposing division or opposing conference.
Yeah, Green Bay would go through all those teams, and then Minnesota would, and Chicago would too. Yeah,
and they're going through us, right? And you start the season that way. I think that's way better because the games have less of an implication. It's early enough in the season; people are still going to watch. They care just as much. You know what I mean? People, they stop watching later, but if you make the important games later, you're going to be able to pull the people in like that, right? I just think that I think if they start the season that way, it's so much more sensible than trying to put so much weight into the chaos. And that's, they got to learn something from Activision. All right.
So I don't mind having 1 game early, but I don't like 2 games first 2 weeks. That's not good.
So what do you got? Lions at the Packers, 4:25, opening Sunday. Probably the game of the week.
I have a win. We're better than them. What do you got?
I, too, have a W on the line right here. All right, second game of the season. We move on. Another divisional game. This time it's at home, and it's one of the few 1 o'clock games they have this year. Evidently, they like to make me miserable at work on Mondays or Fridays. But 1 o'clock versus the Bears at home. What do you think, Risley?
This one's tough because I said this on the radio this week. I do think the Bears are the second best team in this division this year. And this is a game where Ben Johnson, you better believe he's going to have all guns blazing. Like, I'm going to show them up. I'm going to go in there. I know their defense. I know how to attack it because I saw it in practice every day. And I don't discount that. But I got the Lions winning. But I think this one's – I wouldn't fault any Lions fan for thinking that the Lions drop this one because this is – again, this could very well be Ben Johnson's Super Bowl in the second week of his coaching. And if he wins this – it buys him like 5 years in Chicago. That's a pretty damn big deal.
I think this,
but I do think the Lions win this one because it's a home opener, and they will be ready for what Ben Johnson throws at them. And I still don't think that Caleb Williams is all that.
I'm going to say the lights are too bright this early for Ben Johnson. The Lions are going to win this one, and Johnson will take it away. I think we'll talk about later in the year. The weight is going to be much, much heavier on that game, I think. But I think it's just still too early for that team to be pulling themselves together and to have their legs under them. And it's going to be a new offense for everybody, all new stuff going on. So I just don't think that that's going to be their game. So, all right, week 3, the Lions go on the road again to see the Baltimore Ravens. What are you looking at here, my friend?
That's a tough one. That's a good football team.
Could we ever play them in Detroit?
No, we don't.
Ever?
They match up well with what the Lions try to do well. Like, they're not a good matchup X's and O's wise. And that's nothing against Detroit. Like, that's just the strengths of the Ravens team match up nicely with the strengths of the Lions team.
Yep.
And it's in Baltimore. I know they don't have Justin Tucker anymore, which makes me very happy. Stop grabbing masseuses, dude. But I think that the Lions are going to drop this one.
That's what I have to. Yeah, I hate it. You
cannot run between the tight ends against the Baltimore. You just can't. And what the Lions try to do so much is win the middle of the field. And the Ravens have the best defense in football at taking away the middle of the field. Like it's a rough matchup for Goff. Sucks, it is what it is.
I wish I could say the Lions win this one because I just sick of losing to the Ravens. I am.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, our guy Colin's going to be there, so I hope they win for him. But I have that down as a loss. Also, congrats to Sandman.
Yes,
congrats, Sandman. All right, let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Don't want to give away anything I'm not supposed to. Week 4 at home again. So we're away home now at with the Cleveland Browns visiting Detroit. What do you got for the first quarter of the season? Rounding out.
I got a win here. We're going to take back this trophy of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the Battle of Lake Erie. Somebody who grew up halfway between the two, roughly. I was closer to Cleveland, but I could certainly get the great voice of the Great Lakes on the radio at home very easily. Cleveland's defense is freaking legit. And I know people are crapping on their quarterback roulette and everything, but by God, if they get anything at all out of their offense, they're going to be a really good team because their defense could be the best in football. It really could. And I worry that the Lions' offense might struggle a little bit there. But I don't think that Cleveland can outscore them. I just don't. Whether it's Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel or Joe Flacco or whoever else they want to bring in. I mean, Kenny Pickett's still there for now.
He's in such a bad.
They got 4 quarterbacks worse than Jared Goff.
They're in such.
They might have 4 quarterbacks worse than Hendon Hooker. Oh my God!
If Shedeur Sanders lives up to being all that, that's going to cause problems. If he doesn't, That's going to cause problems.
Yes.
Cleveland is the worst place for him to have gone. I really think so, because there's just everything else is so fragile over there, and so they don't need another fucking clown show. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to knock on the guy. There's just everything that comes with him, unfortunately, and now it's only magnified. Right? It's wild that. Anyway, that's a hell of a distraction for them. So we'll see.
They did not handle the Baker Mayfield experience well, and Baker Mayfield won a playoff game for Cleveland in Pittsburgh with his coach locked in his basement with COVID, and they still hated him.
Yeah,
that's my hometown in a nutshell.
All right, let me go on. We're going to week. So I
remember the rally possum.
Week 5, start off quarter number 2 of the season. We have at the Cincinnati Bengals. Why did I say Bengals? Bengals at 425. What's your take on this one, Rizzler?
They're tough. Cincinnati is one of those teams, like, they can win every game they're in, they can lose every game they're in, and they tend to be responsible for their own fate in those games.
Yeah.
Like, if they play smart and play well, they win. If they screw up, and they do screw up, they lose. So they're like, this is a game where I want the Lions to go conservative. And David Montgomery gets 15 carries. Jahmyr Gibbs gets 15 carries. Craig Reynolds gets 10 carries. Like, just keep ramming the ball down their throats, make them panic, make them break character, and beat them. Because you can do that. Mm-hmm. Most teams don't have the discipline to do that. But Cincinnati, I gotta win there. What do you got?
I got that one as a loss.
All right.
I hate it. I think it doesn't matter that it's October only. I think Burrow's going to sashay out of there in a fur coat. So they're a tough
I love
team.
Joe Burrow. I
do too. But I think I hate to say it, but it's just I'm kind of looking now. Let's go to the next game because people are going to ask me what the fuck's wrong with me. But Kansas City Chiefs this is our second away game. It's nighttime, NBC, Sunday Night Football. What do you got for this one, Rizzo?
So this is one where I'm not sure I'd care for that. I think about that one. Again, I don't like the Sizzler.
But you've got the Riz. You are the Rizzler.
Apparently. Whatever. So this is one, Kansas City's coming off a Monday night game. And then they got to play Sunday night in the prime time. It's weird that everybody focuses on Mahomes. Like, their defense is better than their offense in Kansas City, and probably will be again this year. And they have a defense that, again, does a very good job of squeezing the middle of the field. I know we won there a couple of years ago. That's a different Chiefs team. They've got better defensive backs now. This is going to be a game where I think the Lions are going to have to win it on defense and special teams. And guess what? They can. So I went with, I picked this as a loss in the earlier part. I'm going to stay with that. Because I think the Chiefs are going to be in a situation where they could be like 2-2, 2-3 in that game. I think they'll need the win more than the Lions do, because I think the Lions will have only lost once here.
I think the Lions bounce back from what happened in Cincinnati and beat the Chiefs. They've had the Chiefs number, and that's what I was really looking forward to if they could have gotten to that Super Bowl, because I believe they can absolutely beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the big game. I think they're going to beat them here too. So I have them as a win here. Okay, after the Chiefs, we come home. I love it at home. Ford Field. The Tampa Bay Bucks in town. What do you think?
Tampa Bay. It's weird that, in general, Lions fans have a really low opinion of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is one of those where, you saw everybody going through, they've won the division twice in a row. They got better this offseason. That's a good they could legitimately be the 1 seed because their division sucks.
Yeah, it's a terrible
that's division. A good football team.
Yeah.
Having said that, Baker Mayfield, who I recently admitted that I like very much, he can't beat the Lions the way you beat the Lions. He can't win over the top consistently. He will make mistakes. He will succumb to pressure. I also don't think that their running game is going to be as good as it was last year. Nothing against the running back from Oregon, Bucky. But like,
even if it is, when they play the Lions, it won't be. We got this first round pick.
I like the Lions here, and this you're getting into the range now where the Lions defense is going to be really healthy and clicking. Marcus Davenport could still be on the field at this point, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
And you're going to be I think this is the point of the year where the newcomers, Reed, Dan Jackson if he's playing some, Grant Stewart if he's playing some, Hassanin if you're seeing, this is the point where those guys are going to start feeling comfortable. And I like that a lot against Tampa Bay, who I will say, we had to do this for the Wires a lot. I have the Bucs winning the 1 seed in the NFC. Like there's a lot of wins on their record, on their schedule, and including 6 in their division, which you can't sneeze at. Like they are so far and away the best team in that division, which probably means they're going to go 5-12 and blow everything up. But who knows?
There you go. Okay, so you've got.
You live in Tampa. What do you got for that?
I've got a win for the Lions. I like you said, I don't think they can run. I don't think Baker Mayfield can beat the team again. They're going to be a good team, but this is our year, not their year, and we will move on top of that. Did you have that as a win? I'm sorry, I missed the final.
I did. Yes, okay, yes, I do.
Okay. Next, the week after is going to be a real doozy, a bang buster, if you will. It's the bye week. I'm going to call that one a tie. I'm going to predict a tie on the bye week. So after that, we get a little bit of rest, and then we have another home game. So it's home, rest, home, which is very nice. And we play against one Minnesota Viking. I'll just start off. I'll walk in and say we're going to win. We're going to win this one. I'll let you talk about why you think that I'm right or wrong.
Because Brian Flores doesn't know how to handle Jared Goff. It really is that simple.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that he feels compelled to blitz Jared Goff nonstop. And the fact that his head coach lets him do it. Because I think Kevin O'Connell's a pretty damn good head coach. I really do.
Yeah.
But, dude, figure it out. Like, you don't need to blitz. You've got – well, yeah, don't figure it out. I also wonder about J.J. McCarthy. I was generally fairly bullish on him in the draft process, but we haven't seen a lot from him, and I have a feeling that the Lions will be able to show him some things. And I also think this is by the time of the year, especially coming off of a bye, where the Lions are going to have some time. Kelvin Shepard and his staff are going to have time to sit down and watch what J.J. McCarthy has done as their quarterback, and they'll find ways to pick at him that you don't normally get if you're not coming off of a bye. And I think that's a big factor in this one. So I got a W.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons I have a W. Just going back to the Packers, because they don't know what our new coaches are doing. It's different. They don't have film of what we're doing now. So, no, that's a great point. We'll have that film on McCarthy. We won't get surprised by what he has. Okay, next week we have to go away. We go to the Washington Communists. If we think about. I just wish they changed their name already. Jeez. Okay.
Just go back to the football team, please. That was awesome. Yeah. The uniforms were awesome. Go back to that.
Yeah. Anyway, the weenie communists. What do you think? This is a revenge games. The November 9th, 4:25 afternoon, maybe a game of the week, depending on how they're playing for the year. What do you see the Lions doing against the commies?
We don't match up well against them. We're going to have to play a lot better on both sides of the ball. And that's not just with the injuries. If you remember, Jared Goff didn't play well in that game. Offense wasn't exactly dialed in that game. Washington, Philadelphia, and Detroit. And it's weird that I said that Tampa Bay is going to be the 1 seed. I think that all 3 of those teams are better than Tampa Bay. And I think that, just the process of the schedule and whatever is going to keep that from happening. But I think Washington... They're tough, man. Jaden Daniels, the Lions have trouble with mobile quarterbacks who look to throw first. And that's what he does. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be an issue until proven otherwise. So I got a loss. What about you?
Same. I have a loss, and it's unfortunate because we're going to see them again in the playoffs, and that's where we're going to have to really put it up. So
really hope that one's in Detroit. By the way, the NFL is voting this week on the Lions' proposal to seed the playoffs straight on record and not worrying about division.
It makes
would have been fantastic last year, although it wouldn't have mattered for Detroit. Mm-hmm. This year, like the Lions could legitimately win the NFC North and be the 5 seed because the division is rough and the other division's not so much. If one team really gets hot, you can see the loser of Washington, Philadelphia in the East, I think they're both making the playoffs, could have a better record than Detroit. So this game could be critically important in that, assuming that gets passed, which it sounds like it will.
Interesting. All right. We'll move on. I have a loss there as well. Like you said, let's go to Philadelphia. I'll go right in. Here it is. We have again, like earlier in the season, we were at Cincinnati and then at Kansas City, right? At a tough team and then at a Super Bowl show up. Here we are at a tough team with Washington, at a Super Bowl winner. But I have us winning the second game again. I have us beating the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia after taking that spanking in Washington. The men kind of come back, lick those wounds, then they start licking their chops and they go in and they show, because I think we can beat those Philadelphia Eagles, and I think they will be hungry to do that and show. And I will say right now, this is going to be a springboard game for the Lions. To beat the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to walk away and say, we beat the Super Bowl champs. We're a little past midway through the season, and we know we can do it now. Now we've got everything hard or whatever is behind us. Now it's just on us to do. I think this is going to be a big kind of turning point game for the team and their attitude and how they approach the rest of the season.
One note with this, the Eagles play Monday Night Football at Green Bay before they play Detroit in this one. Green Bay is begrudgingly say that's a pretty good football team. They can make the playoffs. That's going to be interesting to see how Philly handles that quick turnaround against two pretty darn good football teams.
Yep.
I have a loss here. They're the defending champs. I got to give them that respect. The Lions could win, probably should win, but I'm not going to call that they're going to win.
I work with too many people from Philadelphia. They can rot. The only thing they can do in Philadelphia well is grease a pole. All right, let's go to the next game, Week 12 against the New York Giants. You can't get through a show without a dick joke, right? I mean, it's just the way it works.
Apparently not.
I apologize. It's just part of it's what you get with it. New York Giants. It's a 1 p.m. game. What in the heck? It's our fourth one. Fourth one. Okay, so versus New York Giants at home. We get a nice little home seat here after those two road games. November 23rd. What do you got for us, man? It's the Sunday.
I will read what I wrote for Lions Wire because I still believe it's true. With zero disrespect intended towards an improving New York team on paper and in May, this is probably the easiest game on Detroit's schedule. It's a win.
Yes, I'm with you. And I can't wait because my best friend at work is a Giants guy, so it'll be fun. It's always fun.
I have some extended family who are Giants sycophants, and I will enjoy calling
all
my
right
cousins on that one.
Then we come to Turkey Day, and gobble gobble, it's the Green Bay Packers at home at 1 p.m. instead of 12:35. Changes everything. What do you got, Rizzy?
I hate that we play division games on Thanksgiving. Can I say that first off?
Yeah.
I loved it when we played Buffalo and when we played Houston. Like, give me that again, please.
Yeah.
I love those games. I want the spotlight to be on non-traditional games. Nothing against the Packers, but like that game can be special on its own and should be special on its own. We don't need that. Would have rather played Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh would have been great for Thanksgiving, but I digress. Or the Giants, for that matter. We're winning this one.
Yeah. I have a win for the Packers as well on the Turkey Day. It's a tradition. Moving on now, we'll get to Dallas. We've got at home again, second week in a row. At Dallas, it's an 8:15 Thursday, so it's Thursday to Thursday game.
They are also coming Thursday to Thursday. They play the late afternoon game on Thanksgiving, as they are traditionally doing.
Mm-hmm. What do you got for us with those Cowboys?
So I wrote this, and I still believe this too. This is one of those games where the Lions are absolutely the better team, but for whatever reason they lose it. They have one of those. They didn't have it last year in the playoffs. But like, there's always like one game where it's like, what the hell, man? And this is my what the hell, man game that they lose.
Yeah, that's fair.
They should win. They better win, but I'm not calling it now.
Since Dak won't be there, because he's always injured by now, I have the Lions here with another win. I think we've.
By the way, I am morbidly fascinated by how they're going to handle George Pickens in that offense. That's going to be fun to watch.
I think
because Duke can freaking play, but he is Looney Tunes.
Yeah. I think we've got the Cowboys number, and it's about time. It's been a while, and it's nice. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to
this is remember Hutch got hurt against Dallas last year. I think he might have something a little special for him. Obviously, Dallas didn't intend to hurt him. He got hurt on friendly fire, but yeah,
it wasn't like the Eagles in the game where they injured Tyrell Williams, or Tyrell Walker. Sorry, that one.
Tyrell Walker.
Yeah, Tyrell.
Love that dude.
Tyrell.
Yeah.
Oh, that one made me mad. Okay, we'll move on.
It was Tyrell. Let's go back in time.
Yeah. Rams. Los Angeles Rams in California. I really think I want to go to this game. I would love to go to SoFi. The stadium looks fantastic. Gorgeous, man. I really want to go to this one.
That might be one. I have the ability to travel more this year, and I'm already planning on going to a couple of Lions games. And if I do a road game, well, Chicago's easy because it's an easy drive for me. But this would be, I got to sell the wife on this one on how to get out to Los Angeles. But that would be something else, man. I would enjoy that a lot.
We were talking around this time of the year to head to Germany for the Christmas markets, and we were just really hoping for a Germany game for the Lions, but it just didn't work out. But
next year,
maybe next year, we'll see. Rams, I've got
if it wasn't next year.
This is Stafford's last season. I got the Rams beat up and out of it by now, and Stafford's just not doing it. He's just going through the motions at this point. So I have the Lions winning this game.
I'm with you on that. I think this is a point where they won the West last year. I think that gets lost a little bit because nobody really expected all those rookies. Their defense can play, and they've got a lot of young dudes who can play. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm with you. I think this is a point of the year where Stafford starts to get a little tired. It's a little beat up. Their offensive line is decent enough, but vulnerable, and I just think they're working. They don't have their guy anymore in Cup. Like I kind of like it. I like the Lions in this one.
All right, 3 games left. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at home on the 21st of December. Sunday. What do you got for us?
I got a win here. Pittsburgh. Oh, is it?
Yeah, CBS.
Oh, man. God dang it.
Yeah.
I like the Lions here. I don't like the Steelers. Like, I have to say this because I'm wrong about them every year. I'm always like, this is the year where they're 5-12. I say that just about every year. And every freaking year, Mike Tomlin shuts my wise ass up because he keeps winning. I will say this. If he gets this Pittsburgh team, to being where they're sniffing the playoffs, I don't care what Dan Campbell did, he's coach of the year. Like, this is, on paper, this is the worst Steelers roster I can fathom in a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, this could be then you some careers there. So we'll see. But I've got the Lions winning this one as well. Yeah. At the Lions win this. Okay, 2 games left at Minnesota. At Minnesota on Christmas. Minnesota, don't you know?
It's a loss. Think about, and Alex Anzalone actually tweeted about this, about like, come on. And he was clearly talking about, think of all the Lions families. Like, we know how many players and coaches have young kids at home. Mm-hmm. You're taking them away from what is a special family time. They're not going to want to play this game. Like, I know they're going to talk well and they're going to show up and do their heart's not going to be in this. As realistic as that can be about a Dan Campbell team, I don't like the circumstances for this game being on the road. Christmas afternoon, which means that they've watched their kids open presents on a FaceTime call. It's bullshit, man. Leave Christmas to the NBA. I love that. I love watching the Christmas tripleheader on the NBA every year. It's background on. I don't want to watch football. I don't want to cover a football game. Like, none of the media is happy about this. None of the Lions are happy about this. I can't imagine the Vikings are too thrilled about playing on Thanksgiving or Christmas. At least they're home. This bullshit, man. Angry.
I think the bitter Lions are the mean Lions, and they win the game.
Well, that'd be nice. Be happy with that.
All right, Chicago Bears last game at Chicago on TBD, but it's going to be January, right?
It'll be January 4th, more than likely. We're getting a mini bye. That's the one upshot. Christmas is Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's our 4th Thursday game.
Yeah, we've got as many Thursday games as we got 1 o'clock games.
Yeah.
Just about. All right, so what do you got? Win or loss on this one, Rizzle?
I think the Lions are built to play in the weather better than the Bears are. I would love for this game to be in a freaking blizzard in Soldier Field because the Lions can handle that. Caleb Williams, his painted fingernails are going to freeze they're going to fall off. They're not going to know what to do. The Lions will keep ramming it, man.
Wow.
I think I'll say this. I think that if there's snow on the ground and it's like inclement weather, the Lions win 34-0.
Wow.
Not even a competitive contest.
Wow.
If it's good weather for January, and we are prone to getting that from time to time, we win like 28-9. We're just better than them. And this game could mean playoff seeding, especially if that thing passes. Like the Lions, they're going to have. That's one of the reasons why they like this concept of seeding, regardless of divisions, but by record, because there's so many teams that take week 18 off. Like, oh, we've got it wrapped, we don't need it. The NFL's tired of that, folks. And this would be a good example of why the Lions would need to be sharp for that one. Ram it up their ass. Throw snowballs down Ben Johnson's throat.
This is my what the fuck, man game.
There you go.
I have the Lions taking a loss here.
I want the snow. I'm going to go to this game.
Yeah. Oh, it might be. I hate Chicago, though. I mean, the field stinks. The people are crap in the games.
The stadium's awful.
Yeah.
They're all 22 is like taken from the space shuttle. Just come on, guys. It's the International Space Station. The space shuttle done blowed up.
Yeah, I was going to say. There's not an all 22?
They retired that. I actually went to NASA a couple of years ago on vacation and toured it. It's fun.
All right. So, Riz, at the end of the game, at the end of the season, you have an 11-6 Detroit Lions team.
All right.
I have a 13-4, which is pretty crazy because usually you're the more optimistic one of the two of us. And
I tend to be.
Yeah. I mean, on the schedule, I'm usually more optimistic about the team and its chances and what they're doing, but I don't know. So I've got them 13-4 with a what the fuck man game at the end of the year. I think Chicago's going to be just so freaking hungry because they've had their season. They're on the cusp, and oh my God. And then game one of the playoffs are going to fall flat in their fucking face.
They'll lose by 20 at Washington.
Yeah. So that's the schedule. Just a couple of notes about the schedule as we kind of go through here. First off, the Lions do not play a single game this year against a team coming off of a bye.
And it wasn't last year; it was 2 years ago where they played 3 games in a row, playing teams coming off of byes. Yeah. And I believe they lost 2 of those.
Yep. So
that's nice.
That's a nice one. And then the Lions' rest advantage is as good as it's been in the league since 10 years from now, 10, something like that. Yeah. Some long ass time. We got week 2, the Bears coming off of Monday Night Football. Week 5, Bengals coming off of Monday Night Football. Chiefs coming off of Monday Night Football. Week 6, Vikings have 10 days of rest, but the Lions are off a bye on week 9. Eagles coming off of Monday Night Football on week 11. The Rams have a normal week. The Lions have 10 days rest week 15. 16, the Steelers are coming off of Monday Night Football. And week 18 is a normal week for the Bears, but the Lions have 10 days of rest. Very interesting. A little bit less of a gamut in that way. The one thing that I think really, really hurts is we've got to play Philly. We've got to play Washington. We got to play KC. We got to play the Bengals. We got to play the Ravens. And I'll throw the Rams in there on the freaking road, man. Like some of the toughest teams we face that are outside our division are all on the road. That's a real downside of this schedule.
It is. But remember, last year they went unbeaten on the road. So
yeah. The other one, I'll leave the beaten.
This is still very solidly a playoff team. They should wind up with the most wins in the NFC North. I'm good, man. Let's fast forward to January right now and play the playoffs.
There you go. I mean, Dan Campbell, he gets out there when he's on the road and shakes the other coach's hand. He just tells him,
"I will beat your ass,"
and then he goes and does it. So we'll see that happen. Let's get to the last topic here, Riz. We have likely injury return dates, and there's 2 guys I think that are really big that we want to talk about this.
Yes.
This is Rodriguez, Malcolm Rodriguez. Let me back up and say Jimmy Liao, Dr. Jimmy Liao, MD.
Yes.
One of our favorite contributors on the channel. Guys, not only does he have all the doctor knowledge, right? He's all doctor in this stuff and talking about it. He's funny as fuck, man. The guy his sense of humor.
He's so down to earth.
The charts, dude. I love it. He can have me turn my head and cough any day. I love you, Doc. All right. So according to him and his expert opinion, we have Malcolm Rodriguez likely coming back against Minnesota in week 9. Which is kind of nice. Aleem McNeil, he doesn't have coming back till week 11 at Philadelphia. And that's an interesting one because if there's week 11, let me look again what the date is. That November 16th. Probably not snow on the ground for that, so that'll be okay. I can see him coming back for that. But if it's raining, I wouldn't put him in bad field conditions for his first return. But just so we know, we're basing this on like the 11-month ACL return. Right. And if we look at historically, we have the line, Jameson Williams, 10 months and 3 weeks. Kyler Murray, 11 months. TJ Hawkinson, 10 months, 1 week. Tyler Higbee, 11 months, 1 week. Talanoa Hufanga, 10 months. Kendrick Bourne, 11 months. Daniel Jones, 10 months, right? So, I mean,
Hufanga tore it again.
So you look at that.
Came back too early.
That feels like it. That then also, I think, sort of informs, if you're looking at week 11, I mean, your season, not ours, but a team's season could be over by week 11. Yeah. That probably helps inform your number 1 overall draft pick as well.
Yeah, definitely. So. And, he went through, he wrote this on Lions Wire, and just looking at him, Kyler Murray, 11 months. 11 months. Like it's all between like 10 months and 11 months and 2 weeks is like the big range.
Yep.
Now there are people who aggravated it, or people who had very serious injuries, Jack Conklin and Nick Chubb, who took over a year. We don't see any of that with either Aleem or Rodrigo. And one other thing, week 8 is the bye. That's a great time to get Rodrigo up to speed and get him back out on the field.
Yeah. 110%. All right.
And they do need him. He is a fantastic open field tackler.
Yeah.
Probably the best pound for pound on the team at doing that.
Yeah.
And you'll need that against Philly because they do throw to a lot of people. And they also have a quarterback that can run.
Yep.
Be nice.
All right. That's it. We're back. Riz, it was so nice to talk to you again. It was so nice to do one of these, man.
Back.
We've got more. And like I said, after the Hawaii draft thing, I've got a good package to do on the road. So as I travel, Riz and I will be getting together more. We may not be doing them live when I'm on the road. Similar to this one, we'll probably record them live and then post them, just because it's with bandwidth out of hotels being so dodgy and in and out. It's just going to give a better quality product for you guys. Yeah. We miss the interaction though. So we will continue to do live wherever we can. And then also this year, you're going to see a lot more individual videos from the both of us. It's got some really, really good stuff. Not just the series I talked about, but I have a couple other series, 4 or 5 episode series of topics that I think are really, really good, that we'll do some research on and pull some numbers together for everybody. But I think we have some really fun stuff to talk about. So, Riz, you didn't forget about us on Patreon, did you?
Of course not.
I know you didn't. It's patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. If you get $5 a month into that Patreon, you'll get access to the Slack, the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. Dust, boy, it was like a crop duster through there a couple times here the last couple of weeks. A lot of information coming. Get in there, join the fun. It's Riz, it's me, it's Bish, it's Brown, it's Ash, it's the whole crew. It's hundreds of others. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun to hang out and talk Lions, and especially during the off season. There's enough conversation to satiate your hunger for football when things get real quiet there in early July, and it's such a great group. So join the Patreon and take advantage of that. Also follow us on Twitter at DET Lions Podcast and at Jeff Risdon. Sounds like it's spelled like it sounds, at DET Lions Podcast. Get in there, get us on the Twitter, have fun with that. We'll have some fun stuff coming there as well. Also, be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com, subscribe to the podcast, because when you subscribe, we do the dirtiest thing. Riz, what is it that we do?
I get to come in your ear holes automatically.
And I get to watch. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions podcast. Diddy. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs. Oh, he did. No problems, because we're your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection. Love you all. Thank you.